Welcome to Hollywood Movie Stars. Do you remember the first time you watched Once Upon a Time in the West, the legendary Western film released in 1968? With its iconic scenes and deeply developed characters, the movie has captivated generations. But do you know what those stars are like now? Who has retained their beauty and talent? Who has gone through unexpected trials? Watch the entire video to discover how they have changed. How old were you when you first saw this film? Leave a comment to let me know. Henry Fonda as Frank. Henry Fonda played the role of Frank, a cold and ruthless villain in Once Upon a Time in the West. At that time, he was 62 years old, but Frank's image was opposite to the gentle demeanor Fonda usually portrayed in his previous films. The character Frank was evil, unforgiving, and the main antagonist in the bloody land dispute. Frank's tense relationship with other main characters, such as Harmonica, Charles Bronson, and Jill McBain, Claudia Cardinale, created the movie's peak conflicts. Frank's cold, merciless yet charismatic personality made this role one of the most iconic villains in film history.
Now that you've called me by name.
Henry Fonda was born in 1905 in Grand Island, Nebraska, into a fairly well-off middle-class family, never experiencing extreme poverty. He began his acting career on stage before gradually moving to film. At age 62, when he took on the role of Frank, Fonda already had over 40 years of acting experience and was famous for heroic roles, notably in The Grapes of Wrath, 1940. Behind the scenes, Fonda was known as a perfectionist and very serious about his craft. However, accepting the role of Frank, a villain, was considered a turning point that diversified his image. The Fonda family is also famous for multiple generations of talented actors, such as his son, Peter Fonda, and granddaughter Jane Fonda. Nevertheless, Henry's personal life was not without hardship, including 3 marriages and family crises that caused periods of psychological stress. Still, Henry Fonda's name and image in Once Upon a Time in the West live on in fans' hearts, becoming an irreplaceable icon of classic Western cinema. Henry Fonda passed away in 1982 at the age of 77 due to heart failure and was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, California. He left behind an invaluable artistic legacy with over 100 films, representing a symbol of 20th century American cinema. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at about $2 million, equivalent to roughly $6 million today, adjusted for inflation. Fonda's legacy lies not only in the number of films, but also in his natural, authentic acting style, an inspiration to many generations of actors thereafter. Charles Bronson as Harmonica. Charles Bronson played Harmonica, the central character in Once Upon a Time in the West. At that time, he was 47 years old, portraying a mysterious, taciturn man who was incredibly determined and cold. Harmonica was a seeker of justice and revenge for a painful past. His role stood out in balancing good and evil, especially in his conflict with Frank, played by Henry Fonda. Harmonica's personality was strong, with minimal expression yet profound depth, making the character unforgettable and an emblem of Western films. The relationship between Harmonica and Jill McBain, Claudia Cardinale, also played a crucial role in the plot, adding layers of complexity to the story. Charles Bronson, born Charles Dennis Bukinski in 1921 in Pennsylvania, came from a Lithuanian immigrant working-class family. His childhood was full of hardship, From a young age, he took on various side jobs to support his family, including construction worker, miner, and firefighter. Before becoming an actor, he served in the U.S. military during World War II. Bronson started his acting career much later than many of his peers, but with his rugged appearance, cold demeanor, and versatile acting skills, he quickly gained popularity. Besides Once Upon a Time in the West, Bronson was also famous for Death Wish and The Magnificent Seven. In his personal life, Bronson had a strong marriage with actress Jill Ireland from 1968 until she died in 1990. Despite facing many difficulties due to his wife's battle with cancer, he devoted himself to caring for her and maintaining a warm family. There were no signs of addiction or bankruptcy in his life. After Jill Ireland's passing, Bronson lived a relatively private life and rarely appeared in public. Charles Bronson died in 2003 from lung failure at the age of 81 and was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, California. He left a great legacy in American cinema with over 90 films and a distinctive acting style, a lonely hero, quiet but decisive. His estate at death was estimated at around $20 million, reflecting his successful and stable career. Claudia Cardinale as Jill McBain. Claudia Cardinale played the role of Jill McBain in Once Upon a Time in the West when she was 23 years old. The character Jill is a strong, independent woman who must face a painful past while fighting to protect her family's property during the chaotic times of the Wild West. Jill's personality embodies resilience, but also deep emotion, serving as the central figure in the film's conflicts as she confronts Frank, Henry Fonda, and seeks support from Harmonica, Charles Bronson. The relationships between Jill and the two main male characters provide the main driving force for the story's development. This role helped Claudia Cardinale become an iconic female hero in the Western film genre. Claudia Cardinale was born in 1938 in Tunisia, into a family of Sicilian descent. She did not experience a seriously difficult childhood, but she participated in beauty pageants and entered the European film industry early, starting in the 1950s. Before Once Upon a Time in the West, Claudia had already delivered impressive performances in Italian and French films. She was known for her striking beauty, natural style, and versatile acting ability. Besides this classic work, she also gained fame through Fellini's 8½ and The Leopard. Today, Claudia Cardinale is 87 years old and remains a living icon of European cinema. She has maintained a steady artistic career over several decades, frequently appearing at international film events and engaging in humanitarian activities. Her private life is quite peaceful and discreet. Claudia was married once to Franco Cristaldi, a famous Italian film producer. Their marriage lasted many years until Cristaldi passed away in 1992. She is the mother of 2 sons and is known as a devoted mother who always balanced work and family life. Having avoided severe depression or major mental health issues, Claudia has retained an optimistic spirit and stable health to this day. Her net worth is estimated at around $15 million, mostly derived from acting roles, royalties, and other artistic activities. Jason Robards as Cheyenne. Jason Robards played the role of Cheyenne.
You only know how to play, or do you know how to shoot?
A complex and lively bandit who was about 44 years old at the time. The character Cheyenne has a kind heart hidden beneath a tough exterior and plays an important part in the story as an unlikely ally of Harmonica. Cheyenne represents the archetype of a strong Western man who is not afraid to face danger, but also shows loyalty and fairness in his actions. The relationships between Cheyenne, Harmonica, and Jill create dramatic and engaging situations throughout the film. Jason Robards was born in 1922 in Chicago, Illinois, into an artistic family where both parents were stage actors. Although he did not come from a difficult background, his early career was challenging, and he worked various jobs to support himself while pursuing his passion for acting. Before starring in Once Upon a Time in the West, Robards was known for his performances on Broadway and in films, admired for his natural and profound acting style. Robards' personal life was quite complex. He married 3 times, first to Eleanor Pittman, then Rachel Taylor, and finally to the famous actress Lauren Bacall. He had 4 children, including Jason Robards Jr., who also became an actor. Despite facing struggles with alcoholism and mental health crises, he overcame these difficulties with family support. Jason Robards passed away in 2000 from lung cancer at the age of 78 and was buried at St. Joseph's Cemetery, New Jersey. He left behind a vast artistic legacy with over 80 works and won 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor, securing his solid place in American film history. His estate was estimated at about $10 million, reflecting his long and successful career. Gabriele Ferzetti as Morton. Gabriele Ferzetti took on the role of Morton, a significant antagonist in the story. He was around 43 years old at the time, portraying a wealthy businessman full of schemes who was behind the plots to seize land and power in the Wild West. Morton's personality is cold and ambitious, willing to sacrifice others to achieve his goals, serving as a pressure factor that intensifies the conflict among the factions. Morton's relationships with Frank, Henry Fonda, and other characters add complexity, making the plot more compelling. Gabriele Ferzetti, born Pasquale Ferzetti in 1925 in Rome, Italy, came from a modest family, but was exposed to the arts from an early age, which nurtured his passion for acting. Before Once Upon a Time in the West, Ferzetti had appeared in many renowned European films such as L'Avventura, 1960. With his elegant appearance and natural demeanor, he quickly became a familiar face in Italian and international cinema. Besides Morton, he was known for numerous other film roles and was honored at prestigious film festivals. In his personal life, Ferzetti married once and had 1 child. His private life was quite peaceful, free from major scandals or controversies. He did not experience serious crises such as addiction or depression. Gabriele Ferzetti is remembered as a dedicated artist with a refined acting style, holding an important place in Italian and world cinema history. His name is still spoken of with respect and admiration by professionals and audiences alike. Gabriele Ferzetti passed away in 2015 at the age of 90 due to health complications related to old age. He was buried in a cemetery in Rome, his hometown. Ferzetti's artistic legacy is vast, with over 160 film and television works, significantly contributing to the development of modern European cinema. His estate was estimated at about $5 million, mostly accumulated through long-term acting contracts and film royalties. Frank Wolff as Brett McBain. Frank Wolff played the role of Brett McBain in Once Upon a Time in the West when he was 40 years old. Brett is Jill McBain's husband and father, an honest and somewhat gentle landowner, but he becomes caught in the brutal land dispute. This character plays a crucial role as the story's starting point. The loss of the McBain family sets the stage for the subsequent events. Brett is portrayed with sincerity, kindness, and strong family ties, but lacks decisiveness in a dangerous environment. His relationship with Jill is a significant emotional driver throughout the film and also a source of conflict with Frank, Henry Fonda, and Morton, Gabriele Ferzetti. Frank Wolff, born Frank Wolff in 1928 in New York, came from a normal background without hardship, but worked various odd jobs before pursuing acting. Before this film, Wolff participated in many Hollywood and Italian film projects, praised for his versatility and natural acting style. Besides Once Upon a Time in the West, he also appeared in films such as The Mechanic, 1972. Wolff was known for having a complex personality, living introspectively and quietly in daily life. In his private life, Wolff never married and had no children. He faced severe psychological pressure, leading to depression and alcoholism. His personal life was filled with tragedy, which contributed to his early death. Nonetheless, Frank Wolff is remembered as a quietly talented actor, leaving a mark through deep, nuanced roles, especially in spaghetti westerns. Fans and critics alike continue to appreciate and honor his artistic contributions. Frank Wolff died in 1971 at the age of 4. The cause was officially recorded as suicide. He was buried at a cemetery in Los Angeles, California. Despite a brief career, Wolff left a distinctive legacy with over 50 film and television works. His estate was estimated at around $1 million, a modest sum reflecting a career that had yet to fully flourish financially. Paolo Stoppa as Sam. Paolo Stoppa played the role of Sam, a key figure responsible for managing and controlling the train station area, serving as an intermediary among the factions fighting over land. At the time of filming, he was about 62 years old, portraying a mature, sharp, and cunning man who held significant influence over the course of the story. Sam did not engage directly in violent actions, but his role as a powerful mediator created pivotal turning points. His relationships with Morton, Gabriele Ferzetti, and other factions highlight the complexity within the scheming world of the Wild West. Paolo Stoppa was born in 1906 in Rome, Italy, into an artistic family that was not wealthy. From a young age, he had a deep passion for theater and cinema. Before starring in Once Upon a Time in the West, Stoppa was already a renowned stage actor and had appeared in many European films. Known for his calm and subtle acting style, he was highly regarded for his ability to portray multi-dimensional characters. Besides Sam, Stoppa also appeared in classic Italian films such as Rocco and His Brothers. He was known as a humble and simple person who always maintained a professional attitude toward his work. In his personal life, Stoppa was married to actress Rina Morelli and had one son. His family life was stable and rarely affected by negative issues such as addiction or depression. He once shared that art and family were the two most important pillars of his life. Paolo Stoppa is remembered as one of the greatest actors in 20th century Italian cinema, contributing greatly to the development of the arts and continuously honored by generations of artists and audiences. Paolo Stoppa passed away in 1988 in Rome at the age of 82. He was buried at Cimitero Flaminio Cemetery in Rome. Throughout his life, Stoppa left behind a substantial career with over 120 films and television productions, as well as many highly regarded stage roles. His estate at the time of death was estimated at around $4 million, accumulated from a decades-long artistic career. Woody Strode as Stony. Woody Strode played the role of Stony, a black man with exceptional strength and presence, who was 46 years old at the time. Stony was a loyal and powerful ally of Cheyenne, Jason Robards, playing an important part in confrontations and balancing power dynamics in the film. Stony's character combined loyalty, bravery, and a high sense of dignity, embodying the image of a courageous Western man who refuses to bow to adversity. The relationship between Stony and Cheyenne stands as a testament to friendship and solidarity, overcoming all challenges, adding emotional depth to the movie. Woody Strode, born Woodsack Strode, was born in 1914 in Los Angeles, California. Coming from an ordinary family, he was initially an athlete, competing in track and field and playing football before transitioning into acting. Strode was known for his strong physique and powerful acting style, starring in famous films like Spartacus and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. He was recognized for his steadfast personality, taciturn nature, and consistently professional attitude on set. In his personal life, Woody Strode was married to Helen Hines and had 3 children. He did not face serious mental health problems or substance abuse issues. His family life was stable and private, focused on preserving traditional values and raising his children. Woody Strode is acknowledged as an icon of resilience, who played a significant role in changing the portrayal of black actors in mainstream cinema, as well as being a shining example of professionalism and ethics in the film industry. Woody Strode passed away on December 31st, 1994, at the age of 80, in Los Angeles, and was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Hollywood Hills. His career spanned over 4 decades with nearly 50 films, marking him as a pioneer for African-American actors in the action and Western genres. His estate was estimated at around $3 million, accumulated from acting and related projects. The stories of the cast of Once Upon a Time in the West are not only memories of a golden age, but also the emotional journey of each person behind the stage lights. Which changes of the stars impressed you the most? Is there anything that makes you wonder or want to share more? If you find any incorrect information, please give gentle feedback so that the Hollywood Movie Stars channel can be more complete. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join us in the next videos.